Review the announcements and the reminders, and then to get kids started.
Yeah, I just remembered something. Today was it was a little bit unique, and more challenging because I had them do one of the questions on a quick quiz.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to gather some data
Yep.
that we could use later when Jen came into the class, as well as throughout, they're gonna get a quiz on those problems.
Yep.
Data that I can use, that actually I have other peers that lead them in small groups, so, but I needed some data, and that's always just a challenge.
Yep. So what I saw was that routine took 29 minutes, start to finish, and then I saw 18 reminders for silence in those 29 minutes, but I didn't see a lot of other specific observable directions kids could follow about how they were seated or what they were doing with their hands or whatever. And so I just want to quickly show you this. This is actually from a teacher at my school.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to ask as you watch this, like, what is it that she is, these directions, what about these directions give kids a vision of excellence? Hold on, sorry, that doesn't seem very loud. I don't know. I had this all set a little ago.
I didn't change it.
No, I don't think you did. I think it might have been more quiet in that other room or something. We'll just do this. There we go.
Above, when you're done, reminders back underneath your desk. We're going to time you to see how fast you can do this. We're going to do it at level 0, and if we make noise, we're going to do it again. But I know you're going to be great. So, you ready? Go. Yourself some snaps and follow directions. Perfect.
So how did she
Excellent work. Number 3.
how did she communicate a vision of excellence to the students?
I don't know if I have all the steps right, but basically she said there's certain things she wants them to do, and she wants them to do it silently, and she's going to time them.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you didn't catch it all, but it's basically you're gonna take your binder out, you're gonna open to this section, you're gonna take this paper out and put it on your desk, you're gonna close your binder, you're gonna put it under your seat. When you're done, your hands will be folded and you'll be tracking it. So it told them what to do, right, with their binder, with the paper, what to do when they were finished, where their eyes should be, where their hands should be. And then she said level 0. Level 0s are like silent.
Yeah,
right?
you got that right.
Oh, yeah, so, and this will be done in level 0.
Mhm.
So everything about that is observable, and that she can see if they've taken it out the right way, if their paper's in the right spot, if their voices are off, if their hands are folded, if they're tracking the pattern,
Mhm.
right? So that's kind of where I wanted to go today. I
Yeah.
only have 2 minutes with you, so that's okay. Here's what we would do. What I would like to do is just show you one of the directions you gave. So you're standing at the back of the room, tell students they have a minute 25 to be started silently. So which elements of this direction are observable?
Started
Okay?
and silent.
And silent, right? So mouths closed. And then like writing, I wasn't sure what starting looked like, but yeah, those are observable. How'd you follow through to make sure students were doing those 2 things?
How did I follow through? I think I was positive narrating,
Okay.
and I think I was putting some names on the board.
Yep, by 5 or 8 more minutes into the class is when you started doing that. This particular time, standing at the back of the room, you just gave more reminders and now it's silence. And so I just said those reminders. What would you like to be observable here? While you're standing at the back of the room, what would you like to see?
Well, by at the 2 minute mark, I want to see every student starting their do now.
Okay.
I want to see them silent, and I want to see them writing down the problem or solving a problem.
Okay.
That's what I would like.
Does it matter to you how they are seated or standing at the desk?
I want them facing forward and yeah.
So seated, facing forward.
Yeah.
Does it matter to you, it matters what their voice level is, it matters if they've started writing, does it matter to you where their backpacks are?
Yeah, they have a place to put their backpacks. They've already, they have a spot that they, during that 2 minutes.
Right along the wall.
Yeah,
Yep.
so they should be taking their, they should have their pencil, their pen, their notebook, and their textbook.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think what I would, yeah, so I didn't see that there's a spot on the wall, but basically, yeah, seated properly, whatever it is that you want, with
Mhm.
like where their faces are, like you said, I want them facing forward, where their legs are, legs under the chair.
Mhm.
Whatever the directions are, pencils moving, mouths closed, backpacks along the wall. I would say that when you're at the door greeting them, if you could give them all these observable directions, you'd have a chance to give them the feedback on what you actually really want, right? So I think part of the issue with the way they came in is a lot of them were standing and not starting right away, and you could say, I just want you in your seat. It's like after you put your bag down, in your seat facing forward, and then they would now go, now this is my chance to get started.
I think they know that though. I mean, they know that within 2 minutes, when that timer goes off, because they've had so many consequences for not doing it.
Sure.
So,
Did they get there in 2 minutes today?
I think most of them did, and some may not have, and they got consequences for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about here? We tell them they have 40 more seconds to be silent. We're going to do now they're 36. Then he says he's looking for people to be started. Looks like Jonathan has. Lauren has started. We have 8 more seconds to be silent. We're going to do now. Tammy, Lucy, teams that are ready. So what about this is observable?
Silent, working on the do now.
Yep. And I think what I would like, and that's exactly what I wrote, right? What I would like to see here is what is Jonathan specifically doing that you would want, that you'd want everyone to do?
So be more specific. Jonathan has his pencil on the paper, he started his.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I often like Lon already has his heading at the top of his page. Or Jonathan's done with the problem of one. Or
Mhm.
something that lets students know, right, there's momentum in this class that students are moving.
So am I hearing you want me to be more specific about, like, what the instructions are?
More specific about what you want to observe.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, what are the things that you can visually see and give feedback? So you were writing down names of kids who were on task.
Yeah.
But what if I'm a student who wants to know exactly what that looks like at this moment?
Mhm.
Because sometimes on task is writing. Sometimes on task is watching as Tammy's explaining something at the board.
Yeah.
Sometimes on task is participating,
Mhm.
right? So, yeah, so positively narrating is what you did,
Yep.
right? That's how you followed through. You positively narrated, and then you also gave. I wrote here those students might have earned consequences for the ones who were not. I thought I saw you in the back.
Yeah, there
giving
was some
some
checks
marks.
today.
Yeah. So you were following through
Yeah.
with those expectations.
Yes, I did.
And then what would you like to be observable? Again, something like, seen properly within that time. Like you said, something more specific, observable about the very specific pieces you want. There's a couple other bats to that, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So I think this is sort of the place that I would say is, if your directions, like they're very fair,
Mhm.
they're reasonable, if you can make them specific to the observable actions,
Mhm.
you're creating a vision, like a shared vision with the class, that you can then give feedback to. And now A+ students becomes students who are meeting all 4 of my criteria.
Mhm.
They're seated, they're facing forward, they're silent, and they are working, because I see the pencil moving. Well, then Bailey and Alejandra are earning, and they know exactly why. And you say, Hockey, Hockey's not in his desk, so you could say, Hockey, I need you to take a seat, please. And then he knows that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Sorry, that's sort of, I had a couple more examples,
Well,
but
what
those
do
are the
you
ones
think
I
my
wanted.
first step should be? Well, how should I do that?
Well, so the first step is we've sort of named what your vision of excellence is, right? We sort of came to what that is. So now you need to think through, in those first 2 minutes, what should students be doing specifically?
Mhm.
And then you go to your smart board where you've written it down, because you've already written down the expectations, and you say, these are the 4 observable criteria I'm looking for.
Mhm.
The students come in, they read it, plus you might have named it outside as they're about to walk in, and when you come in, all you're doing is you're narrating
Mhm.
positively, which you already do,
Mhm.
for the things you see,
Mhm.
right? 17 out of 18 of us are silent, and the one who's not has earned a mark, right? 15 out of 18 of us are in our seats, thank you so much,
Mhm.
and we still have a minute left on our timer, and you're just, that positive momentum is building.
Good. Yeah, you've created some new ideas that I'm playing around with in my head right now, and actually, kind of the whole competition thing between classes could work, with which classes got
Yeah.
focused accordingly.
And group 3 and group 6 tended to help the most, which is why they, I think, got the most points, right? So that's one observable criteria. Like, are people collaborating and sharing ideas, right? But there could be even more to your group work that you might think is like a part of your vision or methods. That your actual roles are well defined. If kids are following through with them, you know, and ask, if you hear a kid ask that question, like, what evidence do you have to prove that,
Mhm.
right? Then you can say, that's a point for your group. You're actually using our well-defined roles here.
Yeah, okay.